Hi Clarena, today we're going to look at steps in buying a house. We're going to look at your first draft essay. So let's start with the first one here at the beginning. So steps to buying a house. That's okay title, but it's not really creative. So maybe you want to have something a little bit more creative. Let's look here at the sentence starting with actually. Okay, so actually there's so many options to live in an apartment, duplex, condominium, or others. Um, Therefore, they are chosen by customers according to their taste and conveniences. Okay, first of all, I think that you are talking about the customers, which I would actually call the public. So I would say that the public has many options. So here is the public and has different options to buy to live, whether to live in a house or an apartment, depending on their tastes and convenience. So I would rearrange this sentence so that it's not in the passive voice. You have a passive voice here, so I think I would start with the customers. And then the next sentence is not really clear either. People who do not have all the money to buy a house, but buy them do not, what is it? People who do not have all the money to buy a house, but they do not have enough income to pay a monthly income, can be helped by financial institutions. Again, I would say that financial institutions help people who don't have enough income to buy a house. Again, in the active, I don't think you need passive in that sentence. And then right after that sentence, you have the next sentence starting with however, there are a process to buy a house. However would mean that this is a contradiction to this other sentence, and that's not a contradiction. You are saying that there is a process. So I would use a different connector and see if you can connect those sentences. And there are a process, look at that because process is singular. Okay, now let's look at the next paragraph. First, you need to first you need to be prepared to know what exactly you want. We had talked about this before. Avoid using the second person. Remember that this is an academic essay, so you want to stay on or everything in the third person. And now let's look at the next paragraph, at this paragraph, but at the next sentences. Okay, so your idea here is that you need to know what you want, and that is fine. So you have different variables. I think that you want to say variables, not variance, although variance is a word too. So there are different variables to buy a house, and these are some of the things that you need to consider, which is fine. It reads a little bit like a shopping list, but I guess it's part of the variables. So I would say that's fine. But then when you go to, let me see, also, just a minute here, let me look for you here. Also you need to be prepared with a lot of documents. Okay, the documents is not related to the step of being prepared to know what you want. So one thing is, what do you want? A convenience place with hospitals, supermarkets, restaurants, schools. This is almost like a separate step, so I don't think that this is part of the same paragraph right here. All of the information that you have here, like your credit report, your pay stubs, all that, yeah, that is all connected to that other point that you made, which was the documents, but that would be a completely different idea. Okay, then you are right here. The next step then is to start the search. Initially, we need a real estate agent. Be careful here with we, because again, we don't want to write in the first person. Then let's see, you have finding homes according with our requirements and who help us with the process of making the loan with the bank. Um, I don't think that this is very clear. Who is helping us with this process? The real estate agent normally is not the one that helps you. So there's somebody in their office, but the real estate agent normally just helps you with finding the home and then gives it to somebody else in the office. Um, but the real estate agent will help you to go to the different homes and visit. The next step is the appraisal or the inspection. That's probably fine. Okay, so here you have the last step, and then you have a period, and then for the home, and ask help to see if the home is in good condition. Starting for the home here, this sentence doesn't make sense. I think it's a fragment, unless that's not a period, but then that's a capital letter. Okay, so the ideas are okay, you just need to word them better. And then in conclusion, to fulfill the dream of of owning a home, you need a preparation. You need a preparation. There's a problem there. Start a search, and finally make an appraisal to closing. Think about the word make. I think you can use a different one. And then I think that I think that it is a way. I don't really understand what you have here. Or is it gratifying to own your home? Again, don't use I think. You can just say that it is gratifying without the I think, because in an academic writing, what you think is not so important. And then you probably want to add a final sentence here at the end, so to make a nice little conclusion. So please make the corrections and turn in draft number 2 by next Tuesday. Thank you.